Right. Okay, folks, the recording has started, and by continuing to be in this meeting, you're all consenting to be recorded. So, welcome everyone to our final webinar. Finally, right? Oh my God, this 8 weeks. I don't know how you guys felt. I know there's a lot of work, but yeah, it just flew by, and also seeing some of the work that you did. Awesome work, guys. I know it isn't easy. I know the life challenges. I know some of you are challenged with multiple things going on in your life, and yet to kind of produce the type of work that you are. And, sometimes you may have felt that I may be a little too harsh and might be grading wise or giving my feedback, but I want to make sure that I give you the right feedback, the right advice, because I want you all to be successful. That's my goal. As I always keep saying, and I've said this in my every course that I've taken, and every webinar, or not every webinar, but most of my webinars, I said, I'm here to make you successful. I'm not here to just grade people A, B, and C, and that I have to do it because that's the job, that's the expectation from UMGC. But so I will have to still do that. But I think what I believe in is to see how you can be successful, and so I ensure that I kind of provide that feedback to you, to where you stand, and I hope you are able to read through that. Some of your peers, some of you have not been able to read your feedback, and that's okay, but please do so, because as I said, when you go out in the workforce, or if you some of you already are, you know that whatever we kind of building in here or doing here, you could be doing in future, guys. I mean, it's going to be even much more cutthroat than what you've seen from some of your instructors, including myself, sending sharing comments. Trust me, it would be kind of brutally on your face kind of comments if something is liked or not liked. That's how workforce is, and not scaring you in any way, but that's what it is. People would give you very upfront and honest feedback, and at all times, right, whether you like it or not. And so this is a great starting point, and I hope you take it in that spirit. All right, so I don't think I need to go through the etiquettes at all. It's again, we have a small crowd here, and this is the last webinar, so I'll just skip this completely. We don't need to kind of go over that. And what I want to do today is to spend some time on your project report that some of you are still building. I know a few of you already submitted that, but it's important that kind of you understand what was the expectation and what I've been seeing, and what I'm really expecting for some of you are about to submit that. I want you to understand what's the project report like, and what is the assignment 5 submission should look like. I also want to touch upon very briefly. I just got a one slide, guys, nothing more. Again, this is going to be another short webinar. Trust me, this is definitely going to be. I know every time I've said that, and we've hit the 1 hour mark very easily. But today it's not going to be, because today it's going to be about you. Today I'm going to just touch upon the deliverables that you have, and then open up for your questions or anything on your mind, because this is our final touch point. I wanted to make it count for you. So definitely keep asking any questions you may have. But I do want to touch upon these two deliverables, or how the presentations. I've given some feedback, but I think I want to kind of give you a little more before you go out and start interviewing, start presenting, and presenting your data science project, what they should really look like, and some basic best practices. That's all. And again, at the end, we'll still open up for any questions that may still remain if you have. And okay, so that's the agenda in general for today. And so this is just a view. We went through all the webinars. This is the fifth and the last webinar. And thank you for some of you who've been here, for all these webinars here. And we've had some very interesting conversation. I hope you all enjoyed the conversation here, the content that I was able to bring. I hope I was able to do justice to, what I've kind of been saying, that I always want to kind of supplement in the whatever goes on in the classroom, and not just, repeat the same. I hope I did that, but if not, or whatever, I would still look for your feedback. So if you have not really provided that feedback, I know a survey would have come out to you a couple of weeks back. Please do fill it out. I do look at it seriously every time something is sent over to me, and it doesn't come with any of your names or anything printed. So you do not be afraid of that. And even if it is, I want to be very objective. I really don't need to know whether it's Hera who's kind of written this, or Chase has mentioned it, or Megan said this, or Sheldon said this. Yeah, it's good to kind of put a face or a name to whatever I'm hearing, but still, I think my point is to see where we could do better here. Was this really useful to you? Was these touch points useful to you, or should I do it in a different way? Because that's going to really help us, okay, and help your future, the students here, or your future, whoever is going to go through the program, okay. So with that, I'm going to just touch upon very quickly. So you went on, when you got your first assignment, you got the template, and the first thing you did was, of course, you had that executive summary right on the top, which some of you started filling in the very first assignment, and some of you started later on. Although my counsel and my guidance was, I was really not looking for as being part of assignment one, but definitely in the future, as you start filling in, it's good to kind of start building that. So you put in your project scope, you put in your executive summary, and then in assignment two, you did your data exploration, right? You did all your data summary, your data definition, and your profile, and you talked about your preparation, you talked about the tools that you're using, and same thing for data visualization. Like you put up some statistics, you put up a couple of visuals, you talked about these visuals, and all that, and which was very exciting. I loved some of the, or not, I should say, most of the work that you guys did. It was really wonderful. I think there was some thought, given to what you were really intending to do, what was the background. I know it came from a lot of research. So it was, again, very intriguing. So again, you went into data modeling. I know I hear some of you saying this has been a part where some of you have been thinking that spending a lot of time, or one model is working and it's didn't come out to be as good as what you would have thought. But I would not, folks, again, do not stress too much. If you really worked hard, you come up with a model, you did all the due diligence, and yet at the end you felt like, my God, this model really did not do well. And this is the learning phase of it, right? We are not looking for, I'm really literally, I'm not looking for a model that works 100%. I would rather have your model work 70-80% accurate than 100%, because 100% is always puts a doubt on your mind as to saying, oh, is this overfitting here that has happened? Why is your model 100% accurate? Because in real world, it's very hard to believe, right? Or you would not try to want to believe the model that is 100% because of overfitting. So what I'm really looking for, and what should be really, and I should really assess, is the efforts that you put in, what you've tried, what was your vision. That's more important to me. Yes, in the real world, you would want to fine tune it and tune it and tune it until you get better. Yes, you will certainly do that. But you would have extra time. You would have additional time to do that. I know here you have a time crunch. You are doing everything within the 8 weeks period. And actually it's 7 weeks, because the first week is just about knowing that, so, or understanding what you want to do and selecting all that. So you really get a very short period of time. So but this is kind of really the learning part here, is to see what you kind of, what's your vision, like, what you think would work, and you're going along with it. So that's fine if some of, and I've seen a couple of papers saying, well, I tried hard, but I just got like 55% accurate or 60% accurate or 50%. That's fine. I'm really not grading you on how what percentage or accuracy you're getting with your grade. I'm grading you on really seeing the efforts that you put in, what type of work or content you put in your report. That's important. Okay, so keep that in mind. Some of you are still struggling or working on modeling. And I want you to work hard. I want you to really come up with a very good model. I want you to feel accomplished at the end, thinking, hey, gosh, okay, I got a nice model here. I built something that's really so cool, right? So good. I want you to have that, feeling at the end and a feeling of accomplishing or something at the end, right? So keep that in mind. And then your assignment 5 is the final results, where everything, what your findings were, what you think as your review of your success, what was your completion, your something about data privacy and security, and any recommendation that you have, like what would you do differently, right? Or where would you take this project, right? How would you apply this? So there's a lot that you can write in that recommendations, but again, I know it still says you keep up to 2 paragraphs, which is fine, but I want you to kind of think and explore from that perspective. And then, of course, you had for every assignment, you had to fill in these 2 tables here about the completion history, about the lessons learned, which is, again, very, very important here as to what is your learning, what you've really accomplished in a nutshell for every assignment. But at the end, when you are submitting for your assignment 5, it should be a complete report. I know some of you have been chopping off, the assignments, just, you take assignment 1 and you just submitted that, and you chopped off everything in the template. And I kind of provided that feedback. It's like, do not, the idea was not to chop off anything. Rather, it has to be a living document right from week 1 to week 8, where you are just filling in the different blocks in this document. So when you go on at the end and assignment 5, it should be like everything, you're right from your page 1 to the references page or appendix page, everything should be filled, everything should be included, because I'm looking at the report holistically. I'm not looking at assignment by assignment. Right now, you are almost in the workforce. You are now acting as data scientists, and this is the project report. I want you to be proud of these reports, as so much so that you could carry to your interview and a data science interview and say, hey, okay, this is the one I kind of wrote it. This is what I really worked on. And that's why it's important. You're not going to take assignment by assignment to anybody. You're going to take something that's like a full-on capstone project. So please keep that in mind. I had to kind of provide that feedback to a couple of your peers, your classmates who, just submitted assignment 5. And I said, well, I'm really looking for an entire project report. Okay. So let me stop here, guys. Any questions on any of the sections within the report, or how the report should be, or any confusion on what you need to submit on at the end of this week?
I did have something I wanted to bring up. I
Sure.
think just over the course of my project, I went in thinking I'd be finding one thing with like my core problem and what I wanted to do the experiment around. And then the data presented newer insights that had me wanting to go back and revise the problem itself. So does that mean I just redo the entirety of assignment 1, or say in assignment 5, like, hey, I set out to do this, but in uncovering what I found with both the data exploration and the model, it had me wanting to address something else. So
very excellent question, Chase. I'm glad you asked that. Well, since this is a little bit time bound, Chase, I would say do the latter, meaning, in your findings, that you say, hey, I wanted to go here, but I ended up going this way, right? So I wanted to go left. I had to go right because left did not work. And that's fine, right? That's the learning here. I want to see that learning. And again, but yes, I mean, really, like, I wanted to you want to, like, when you start with the report, you want to see like a complete flow, right? Like what you're doing, what you're going to do, what you did, what are your findings, and so on. But I understand there are going to be times when you'd say, okay, well, this was my thought. My thought process definitely did not work, and I have to go right here. I cannot go left. So, or whatever, or opposite. But that's okay, Chase. I don't want you to fudge something or force yourself into doing something that it's not right, or it's not giving you the right results.
Yeah. I just I was gonna retool some stuff more about just with just with my data. So we can talk about afterwards if need be. But yeah, that was just my main question. So thank you
No,
very
no,
much.
that definitely fine. I mean, I'm good with that. Included that why you took a certain step. It's important
Oh
because
yeah, of
yeah,
course.
like if if your assignment 4 or 5 is going to be a little different than what you presented earlier, you want to kind of mention that why you took that, a different direction, or why
Mm.
you used a different model, or why you used a different tool all of a sudden here. So just kind of put that in, and it's definitely, it's okay to have that kind of a report.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty. All right. So and the assignments rubric is out there. You folks know it. So I'm not going to go over this again. But anyway, so any questions on the rubric? Any questions again on the assignments?
I have one. I just
Sure.
don't know if do you want the code or no?
I'm not. I mean, if you want to include parts of it as to kind of enhance your project report, or you're saying, hey, like Chase just mentioned, I was doing something and it did not work, so I tried to do something different. Maybe it was the code that he was probably wanted to talk about, and that's something that you can really show it. It will enhance your report by showing parts of your code. But I know, I mean, to answer your question, I'm really not looking for your code here. You don't need to submit your code.
Okay, because I was working on making it pretty, and that's taking me a lot of time.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You can include it. I've really liked some of you have added that your parts of your code. You've talked about some of that, and it was really I mean, that really helped. I mean, it helps the audience. Again, I'm not looking at just Lanesh reading that report. I'm looking at, what if someone is going to read this report? Would it make sense, right? And that's what I'm going to also cover during my presentation slide. But it's important that you have like a third person, right? If you have your significant other or someone else in your family, throw this report out to them, give it to them and say, okay, just read it. And does it make sense to you? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? And if the answer is no, then yes, yes, something you need to do. Even it doesn't mean they have to know data science, because trust me, when you are out in the workforce there, many of the people that you may be reporting to are not true data scientists. They could be business leaders. They may not know what the hell you're talking about. Oh, if your R square is 0.8 or 0.9 and I did this, they would not know. They would want to know what decision making is to be needed here, or what your findings are and what the company should do, rather than saying why your R square is this versus that. So keep that in mind, and always do not assume that someone who's reading the report is going to be 100% data scientist or knows what you're doing. He may not know, right? He may be a data scientist, he or she may be a data scientist, but she may not know. So keep that in mind. But Heda, I hope I answered your question, although it could be a little long-winded, but I hope I addressed your question.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So discussion, right? This is the final discussion, and probably I'm sure you read through the discussion. This is going to be one of the highest, with the discussion with highest number of points at stake. So I just want to kind of just again reiterate what I've been saying during my past webinars of trying to put something out there as early as Saturday possible, commenting on your peer reviews, the quality peer reviews. It's just not a one-liner, two-liner, but really providing some really good comments to your peers is going to be the key. Because you are going to now act as a data scientist to review your classmates' project. So think from that perspective that you want to really give some quality comments to your classmates. Respond to any of the questions I may ask, or your classmates may be asking you, or if they have commented on your posting, then you definitely want to acknowledge that. And if there's no comments from your peers, and if you posted it so late, then you will have to comment on your own post to enhance it. When you're saying, it's not saying that you need to kind of respond to your post, but say, okay, well, nobody, so I'll take it up. I'll enhance a portion of my discussion, and that will kind of suffice. That will probably take place of the response to your classmates. Okay. Any questions on the discussions? I hope this was clear, as we've gone through this multiple times, but I'm still open for any questions you may have on this. Okay. If not, my last thing to kind of talk about today is on the presentations, right? So wonderful presentations, guys. I know some of you have really spent really good time, have been very creative, may have used multiple tools. That's fine. If there's something out there that you used it, great, right? At the end, I want you to kind of come up with something that you're going to be proud of and say, yes, this is my work. This is how I really would have presented my project. So when you're building these slides, I want you to keep in mind that you want to also not forget the art of storytelling. Very important how the flow is going to be. Even same thing for your report. Like I mentioned the same, when you're reading through it, when you're building all these assignments and you get to the assignment 5, just start reading your report. Just give few minutes of your time to read your report and in its entirety and see if it makes sense. See what you mentioned earlier. Did you do it at the end, or what you was talking about in your assignment or in the data modeling area? Did you even mention it in executive summary or things of that nature? There would be some disconnect or some gaps that you want to fill in, right? Same thing here. When you're putting on your slides, see that it has got a nice flow. I mean, there was template out there, of course, and you filled it out nice. But if there was any kind of creativity you want to add in, you should add in to make sure that there's a good flow to your, there's something that you can enhance it, right? And talking about enhancing, before even you and talking about storytelling, you want to tell your audience what you're going to talk about, and then at the end repeat what you've covered during the presentation. So what is important here is letting the audience know what you're going to talk about, what is your agenda like, right? And that's something that I was probably looking for also, to see, okay, who's going to put up an agenda slide. I didn't see many, but again, I did not really, I did not cut any points or anything of that sort, or I did not want to really be looking for that. But I'm just saying, in case you are doing this at your workplace in future, keep that in mind. It's very important that when you have your audience gathered around you, that they know what you're going to be talking about. And then at the end, when you have finished your presentation, say, hey guys, okay, so we today covered this. Any question, then open up for questions, right? So it's nicely, and when you summarize at the end, it gives people the ability, oh yes, it reminds them about what you discussed during, what all the presentation points were, so that they can then come up with their questions, right? So that's important. Too much leads to nothing much. You lose your audience. What I mean by that is, ensure that your presentation is not too verbose. I know you would, when you went to, in this particular course, when you have the presentation, I wish, and that's going to be my comment to my program director, because I know it's an 8-week course, and then, it finishes up so quickly. But I wish it would have given you an opportunity to come up and present to your classmates. That would have been awesome. Really, I would have loved to kind of hear some of you presenting, or some of you seeing some of you present this. And at that point, you don't want too much text, because you would have too much on your script. Like, you could have just talked about what you want to say on what you have on your slides, right? So again, putting in too much text, you don't want to make your audience read through all that. You want to speak about it. So just kind of giving some high level bullets, some very high level paragraphs that people can read. Again, if you have those small fonts on your presentation, it's really not going to go well. People are going to not going to listen to you completely. They're going to try to read what you have written there. And that's when you lose your audience. So very important that you keep it as concise. At the same time, whatever you want to say, the punchline or kind of a thing, or few words that you can put it up there, so then you can expand while talking about it. Okay. So it's very important that you don't have too much. You can have too much from a script perspective. Good visuals, charts, and animations, they make and enhance your presentation. I can't tell how many times, and I've seen people presenting, and it's an art, really. It's an art how some of them really come up with such visuals and such animations and some charts that you're just glued to the presenter all the time. The presenter has a knack of making sure that every person in the room is listening to him or her, because of the way they've kind of they're presenting the facts with such nice, lovely, creative pictures. Again, you don't have to really look out for pictures every time. It doesn't mean that every slide needs to have a picture, but some way that you're presenting, even some animation about presenting, like some of the data. It could be pure text on the slide, but then how you're presenting it, like one at a time, or arrows being pointed to, or showing or highlighting some of the things that you're talking about. Beautiful. That really keeps the audience engaged. So always keep in mind, it's not your text, your content on the slide that keeps the audience engaged. It's how it has been put up there on the slide, how it is present, and how it has been published there on the slide, and how you're presenting, how you're talking through it is going to be important one. Okay, so keep that in mind. And do not assume, yes, very important, do not assume the knowledge and skills of your audience, either too high or too low. Just ensure that people are, sometimes it's again something that you learn over time, as to how you want to gauge the skill set of your audience, or the level of your audience. Sometimes when you start talking and you feel that you're going too high with your whatever about your report, and you're getting too much into technical details, and the people are getting, you're losing your audience. You need to bring them in. You need to cut down your technical details and see that, okay, well, I'll just keep it high level. It doesn't look like people are getting more engaged with the technical details. Sometimes people would let people ask you the details rather than trying to put everything up on the slide. Sometimes it's good. You have to strike a balance there, how much you want to put versus what you're really expecting your audience to ask you, because then you're going to be able to talk more or tell more. And at the same time, you know that you'll be able to gauge the skill set, or the skill level, or the knowledge level of your audience. And finally, plan to address audience questions at the end. Again, ask questions ask them at the end. When you summarize it, people would remember, oh yes, this person had talked about it on the first slide. Now I remember what my question was. And that's the beauty of when you summarize it at the end, saying, hey, we covered this, and this. And then people could then remember what you covered at the beginning, and they would remember their question that they would want the onus would lie on you then to address the questions. Make sense, guys? Do you guys all agree, or anything that you want to add on, or any of your experience that you want to talk about?
Yeah, no, that all makes sense. I forget. Did you say that we have to have like a notes or audio component with the presentation? Or
No, 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 no. I'm not. No, I did not look for notes. I'm just, this is my general feedback to you. Again, some of these slides were too verbose, so I'd been kind of giving them this feedback that I tried to cut it short. If you have to have this much notes, if you have too much content that you want to publish on the slide, you can put it on the notes. That's fine. That's all I'm trying to say here. But I'm not looking for any audio component. So I wish I want to kind of do that in future courses to see if you get that opportunity to present to your classmates, and something like this in a webinar, maybe each of you kind of coming up and getting like a 10 minutes or 15 minutes to kind of present your report or project. That would be fantastic. I would love to do something like that.
good to know. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Any other questions? Okay. All right. So finally, this is the book that kind of had shared, I think, in the very first week. I know Professor Cheney had kind of mentioned this, and I kind of really like this book. And I haven't got a chance. And although I wanted to do it during this 8 weeks time, unfortunately, I haven't been able to get to reading this. But I do want to kind of pick it up and read this. And I've heard some very good reviews about this book, some very good questions, and they've talked about. So if you get a chance, and again, I'm not soliciting this, I'm not the author of the book, I'm I'm not tied with any I'm not trying to solicit it. It's just that I liked what was referred or what was suggested, so I'm putting it up again. And since some of you may be going in for, or many of you would be going in for interviews, or try to get this role or position within your company if you're working. Okay, so again,
It's
take a
pretty
look at
good.
it.
I have it.
You have it? Oh, how is it, Hera? Did you get a
Yes,
chance to look at it?
it's pretty good. It goes from resume prepping for data science, and also lifestyle questions,
Interesting.
and then it goes like from statistics to machine learning questions, SQL questions from easy to hard, and at the end they also have more resources. They have a web page, and you can go and do more
Excellent.
SQL exercises. I follow them on LinkedIn. At least
Interesting.
Nick, I follow him on LinkedIn, and he's
Okay.
a pretty awesome resource.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. They've been pretty good. They had a wonderful career so far. I mean, they've been part of one of the FANGs. The FANG here. If you see in the third line there, FANG meaning Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google, the top 5 tech companies. That's what it means by the what are the questions that were asked by FANG or the tech startups and the Wall Street. And these guys, Nick and Kevin, have had worked in one of those top 5 companies before, and they work for startups, some data science startups, and I think one of them is also having its own startup now again. I heard. So yeah, they've had a very illustrious career so far, and their book is written based on what their findings are. So it's an excellent book. So Hera, thank you for helping us with what you've gone through so far. And I think it looks to be very interesting. So I do want to kind of take it and spend time, and I hope I find time and kind of read through this. So that's going to be my goal. Hopefully I do that during the holidays. I'll try my best. Okay. All right. So with that, I'm going to go over quickly on the late policy again. About the late policy, but again, this week is very critical. It's about late. You cannot be late after Tuesday. It's the end. You have to complete everything that is due or that has been part of the course as deliverables. If unless if you are going to be applying for an incomplete, I have to know it right now, right? I had to know it yesterday. I'm just saying, if you haven't done that, you have to let me know right now. And it is only possible if you have completed 60% of the coursework. So incomplete is only for anyone who is completing as part of the deliverables. 60% of the deliverables are complete. Only they can be filing an incomplete. An incomplete gets an extra month to complete it. If they do not, it straight goes to F. But I would say, guys, go for it. Go for a clean completion. I know it could be a little tempting to kind of go for that, but trust me, every time I have seen someone trying to go over, it's it you lose touch of what you've read. You lose touch of something that you would have read like 8 weeks back or a month back now, and then the struggle is much more than what you would kind of go through. That I'm telling you for a fact, and this is based on few years of seeing folks who kind of completed. And I understand if there could be times when, due to life challenges, you still have to pick this up. Again, I'm not biased in any way to that, or I'm just saying what I've observed, what I've heard from students saying, I should have just finished it. I don't remember what I did like in the classroom. We did like in week 3. You would remember it all now, but a few weeks from now, some of it will be gone. Some of that information could be faded out. So please try to finish it. And if not, let me know right away if you are someone who would be eligible for incomplete and you want to file an incomplete. Again, I'm not looking for anybody. I'm not soliciting this. This is just more of an information to you that I should be letting you know. Okay. Any questions here? Is everybody clear? Okay.
Yep.
So far, everybody's doing good. So keep it up, guys. Few more days, 5 more days of grind. We'll take you through. Okay. Take the challenge. All right. So this is just, again, just putting it up there in case you need to reach me. Most of you already know this. So I need not go through this over again, but just in case you're looking for how to get in touch with me or to the student advisory or to the program director, you have it here on this slide. Okay. And as part of the presentation, again, I'm going to open it up for your final questions, if any.
So I just have one quick question. So for the final assignment, we just want to clean up everything and make sure that it's kind of like a polished thing. So if we were like, I was trying to do the art thing with my data set, and it just like I couldn't get the art thing to download. So I'm just gonna cut that portion and just do an assessment on the model and how it performed on the CNN. And that's how I'm going to wrap it up. But I think I'll wrap the database and the art stuff into like the cybersecurity portion, so I'm not just wasting that portion.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good point, Sheldon, that you mentioned, cleaning it up, right? I see some of the reports, again, I should have mentioned that as well initially, that those placeholders are left behind. Assignment 1, assignment 2, please, no, you don't need any placeholders. If you finished finished a section, then you need to kind of take the placeholder was for you to kind of see that. And Sheldon, this is not directly a comment for you, but for everyone here, just please remove the placeholders. Assignment 5, since everything is done, do not want to see any red placeholders. Would you keep that if you're taking this report somewhere else? The answer is no, right? So please, you don't need to have that. Thanks for reminding me about that, Sheldon. Yes, you need to clean that up as well. Okay, any other questions?
Do you still want us to keep like the checkpoints, like the assignment 1, like the checkpoints that we did
No.
underneath of it?
Nope. Don't need it.
Okay.
Would like to have like a good flow. I know what assignment, what was really asked for. So now at the end, I'm asking for the entire report. So don't need any of those little checkpoints or the marks where the assignment is or where the assignment starts or ends. You don't need any of that.
Okay, thank you.
Good question, Meg. Any other questions, folks? Anything in general?
Not immediately. I should be caught up by the end of class, but I might file for the incomplete. I know I'll have assignment 4 in the presentation by Friday and Saturday, so it should give me enough time to do assignment 5 though.
Yes,
So,
go for it, Chase.
yeah.
Complete it.
Yeah.
Call it a wrap in style.
I'm in the same boat as Chase, but I'm not getting.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it, guys. Go for it. I know the grind. I know the struggle. I've been in your shoes before, so I understand that. But you guys are doing fantastic. You've been here all along. You've been attending webinars. I see your participation in the classroom. So yeah, I don't want you to kind of, lose out or extend for the sake of, because you're putting in this effort, and I want to assess your efforts and not your results. So please always keep that in mind. It's your efforts that are more attractive to me than your model really working 99% accuracy. So it's good if you can get that, fine. Yes, I'll be happy, but I'm here to assess your efforts more, just so you know. Any other questions?
I have another question, but it's not regarding the class. It's more like if you would recommend, because I'm considering going for the master's, like would you recommend like UMGC master's program?
I've been a student of the UMGC master's program. I was the first batch of students. So yes, I would certainly recommend that. I'll tell you why. I mean, I'm not saying because I'm an UMGC employee or because I've done but I personally did that. I've been part of the very first batch of students taking the degree when it was first offered in UMGC. So, and one thing what I liked about the master's here, I will tell you, is when I first went, when you go through it as undergrad, there's so many things there. You're working on multiple courses, doing so many things, and you want to focus more. So there are things that you will still, probably you'll still learn. Linear regression is linear regression, whether you learn it in here or you learn it in master's program. But one thing, when you are doing it in your master's program and thinking about all these algorithms, thinking of some of the other technologies here that are out there, you tend to, you tend to focus more on it. You will research more. You'd spend more time, and it adds to that maturity level that you need to really, ace those interviews and be act as a true data scientist. I'm not saying that others are not going to be. What I'm saying is that you will be able to really absorb, like you're just, scratching the surface at the moment here. So you will still have to dig into details, and masters help you to kind of dig into some of those details. Again, it's still going to be scratching the surface, but still, yeah, you'd be going little deeper and trying to understand some of the aspects here. So I would certainly suggest doing the master's program if you can, more than the certification, only because I had the same option. If I could go for a certification. Like, there were some boot camps around, and I thought, well, I really don't need a degree. I didn't need a master's degree to do what I was doing at my workplace. I was already in workforce for many years. But I thought, you know what, I really want to spend some time. I want to understand, I want to learn about it, and I want to apply it at my workplace. So that's one of the reasons why I took master's, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my, whatever time I spent, like, almost couple of years, but wonderful. I loved it. So what couple of years I was just, or a year and a half, I was just thinking about only data science. So that was a good as part of that.
Thank you.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
I had
Okay.
one, but it just escaped
Sure,
me.
go ahead,
I'll write
Chase.
you if I remember it.
No, go ahead. No, shoot if you have anything in mind.
No. I had it on the tip of my tongue, but now it's escaped me. So
Okay,
I
no
remember
worries.
what it was.
Okay, you can write to me, no worries. Okay, folks. So if no further questions, I'll let you go. I know you need this extra time or any time that you can get to finish up a lot of stuff that you have on your plate this week, especially some of you may be taking other courses as well. So I know there's a lot on your plate. So, but thank you all. It was, I really enjoyed the time with, many of you here and going through these webinars and going through this course with you all. Loved working with you. So good luck. And, I'm just an email away, guys, in case you need to reach me for anything at any point in time. So it is not just about this course. Even after the course ends and you have some things to talk to me about or, ask me about, I'll be open for it anytime. Okay. All right. So with that, let's call it a wrap. Thank you all. Good night and good luck.
All right,
Thank you,
great.
Professor.
Thank you. Bye.
Happy
Thank you,
holidays.
Professor.
Happy holidays, guys.
Good
Bye.
Thank
night.
you, Professor
Night.
Lanesh. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.